Waterman.
Oh yeah! Oh, he's so hot. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
Hi.
Tonight, we are going to see Suicide Squad on Thursday at 9:10, which is in like 45 minutes.
Yes.
So we already have our predictions that this movie's gonna suck, but we're gonna keep an open mind.
No, we're not.
So we'll let you guys know about the movie once it's over. We'll do like a review or something.
Wait, say your predictions.
It's gonna be okay.
There's gonna be a lot of Harley Quinn fan service.
It's not gonna be that bad, but
I
not.
predict that Katana's
good.
either gonna have 0 or no lines. Or
Yeah.
0 or 1 line. There you go.
How many characters are there? Like 10?
Yeah, they're not gonna be able to develop all of the characters.
Yeah, I'm like, isn't that like a lot of characters?
There's one that's gonna be like, we gotta work together, guys.
Yeah.
So there's probably gonna be like 2 characters we can't even remember.
Yeah.
Crocodile Man or whatever.
Well,
I've never heard of him, so I was just like, oh,
Me
he's
neither.
half crocodile.
Yeah, it's pretty much just gonna be like the Harley Quinn, Joker, and Will Smith movie, and everyone else is gonna be in the
pretty
back.
much.
See you guys after the movie. So we finished the movie.
Yay! What time is it? It's 11:37.
Gotta catch them all. I guess like we said, like a movie is pretty good, but if you're into the comics, it didn't go by the comics, so it wasn't that good towards the comics. I like pretty cheesy movies or like any movies, so I'm not a hard grader.
I feel like I'm like super critical. Yeah, I'm like.
Because they really like Harley Quinn and like some of the characters.
Yeah.
Overall, for me, I just felt like it dragged a little bit, and there wasn't a lot of. They didn't really have a lot of different like settings or scenes. I think like it was all in like one general area for like.
The whole movie.
Yeah, like 80% of the movie
Yeah.
was in the same location, and it got really like dull after a while.
I think at one point it was too dark too.
Yeah, I was like, who's fighting
who's
who?
fighting?
Yeah, the
And
fight
I was
scenes
like,
were a
you
little
guys need to
cluttered.
lighten on the darkness.
Yeah. I feel there was too many. I know I kept asking them what was happening because they didn't explain a lot of things, and there was too many characters.
Yeah,
One thing I like though is there was like more people of color, because there was like
there was.
Hispanic like minorities in the background, and then one of the characters was Hispanic, and I was like, oh, they didn't make him too cheesy. I was like,
I just
that's relatable.
hated all of the Hispanic jokes. Like,
Yeah, I was like, they're okay. I was just like burrito, okay.
yeah, I was
Just
like,
burrito.
Okay.
But none of them offended me a lot. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's some that like
It's, like,
try too hard,
lighthearted.
and I'm like,
It's
one of the
decent.
characters, I was like, oh, he can be relatable. I'm like, there's people like that, like
Yeah.
you know, people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I just feel like like I was telling them, it's like if a Hot Topic had a filter, they put it over the whole entire movie, and it's like I understand
like
you're trying to be edgy, but it's too much to be
They-
edgy to the point where it's like cheesy.
yeah, and they tried to do like a style. Like, I think the best way to describe this is like Scott Pilgrim had like a really cool style to
Yeah.
it, and this movie tried to do a style like that, but it didn't work. It looked really like
Too many slow mos at the wrong
yeah,
time.
and it looked
Yeah,
really
I was like,
cheesy.
yeah. Okay, ratings, Evelyn.
8 out of 10 for movies. I liked it. But like I said, like for me, their first movies were really like not good. Like from what I heard, and I heard Batman versus Superman was like super confusing. Like people who have never read the comics were like, this is like super
Confusing.
confusing. Like they're like, I don't understand it. So they did, like I was able to understand it. And then I was like, okay, they have at least a general plot line, and it's not like random superhero villains fighting, and there's like no point. Yeah, I was expecting that, like pew pew, or like they kind of tried finishing everything. So it gives me hope for like Justice League, because like my favorite characters are in there, so they're really strong.
Yeah,
Destiny.
I
I
would
think
give
Destiny
this-
hated the most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did hate this the most because I'm just so tired of the same formula, like especially coming from DC movies. Because like you could do so much better, but then they
Yeah,
just
they
don't
don't.
do it. So I'm gonna give
Dark
it like a
Knight.
6. It's like a 6 out of 10 for me. Like 6.5. This is at like a 60%. You're at like a C minus.
I think they just need a good director. 'Cause
Yeah,
I know they
they
want
need
to
a good
branch out,
director.
but if they have a good director, he'll know what to do, and he'll be like, we're not trying to be Marvel, but we can do something different, and it will work out.
Yeah.
But I don't
What's
know
your
up with
rating,
that.
Alyssa?
I give it 3 or 4 out of 5. If I compare it to like Marvel movies, if I compare it to just a movie, not the fact that it's a comic book movie, I gave it like a 6 out of 10. I said 4 out of, yeah, okay, whatever. Because I think I'm such a Marvel fangirl, and then they've had time to build up their, like, make their movies really good to 2016.
Yeah, they
that
had
I
so
keep
much
comparing.
time.
Yeah, I kept comparing it to them. I'm like, no, this is the very first time they started, like, DC started having a bunch of characters in one movie, so I can't be harsh, but I'm like, inside, I'm like, Civil War was so good though.
Yeah.
Like, how did you fuck this up?
I think they like try too hard, and then it's like, don't stop. Like, I think everything they do, they have to like think about it, and I'm like, just don't think too much of it and just
Yeah.
go with it, because if you think too much of it, you're like, oh, how can we make this different?
Yeah.
How can we make this edgy? Then you're like,
Put spray paint
like
on it.
you feel
Yeah.
like you feel it in the movie, like they pause too much,
Mhm.
and it's like,
It's like you
it's
can
not
feel
full.
the directors thinking during the movie.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
can
want
think
that.
Yeah, you can feel that.
You want to just be immersed and then come out like, what is
What's
this?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, they thought
Well,
that
that-
too much.
like, they were just thinking.
I can
yeah.
see them writing like. In
Yeah,
the
like-
yeah.
Just go with it. Just go with it. But we did predict that Will Smith was gonna have all like the funny lines and stuff, which he did.
But I
which
still
it
liked
wasn't
him.
bad. Yeah.
It wasn't bad humor though. Like I laughed. I genuinely
Will Smith
laughed.
was
I
a
was
good-
like, oh, but
He's
he's Will
funny.
Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna be
Smith.
glad he's in the movie.
He's
He
fucking
can get
Fresh
away
Prince.
with.
Like
Yeah.
he can't.
He can get away with that.
Katana
stuff.
had more lines than two. She had like
did
five.
three. Yeah,
Like, she had
like
like five.
Hopefully
But,
they
you know.
bring her back in the other movies.
Yeah, 'cause she was cool.
She was
My
cool.
favorite.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. I think
I can do like a whole separate video on
Harley
Harley
Quinn.
Harley Quinn and Joker and Will Smith. We predicted that and it was right.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn, it's like if you read a different comic. Like, don't go by like the comic
Yeah.
series. It's like
I've
if
read
like
a comic series where she is ditzy, but that's a separate
Yeah.
So-
entity. It's not DC. Yeah.
So if you're like, oh, I'm expecting her to be like the comics, it's not. It's like
Yeah.
some person just took a different comic and made it their own.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna get.
Bye.
We're like in the garage.
I know.
Yeah, I know.